We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Nadine Knecht, and I am here from Embroidery Mom, and I am so excited to be here to share with you all of my ideas that I have sitting in front of me and the brand new FOF Creative Expression 750. I mean, I have to tell you, those of you that know me know that I'm a hooper, right? Everything that I create and design project-wise, it's going in the hoop, right? My buttonholes, my sewing machine stitches, everything, my appliques, it's going in the hoop. So when we were talking about working with the new machine, the new FOF Creative Expression 750, I was super excited because it is a sewing and embroidery machine. And I thought, oh, okay, so we get this machine. And I have to tell you, honestly, I'm absolutely, and I was just having a conversation with Amy. So everybody say hello to Amy, who's here in the background, just running the show. I said, I am so blown away by the amount of designing features that they included in this machine. So I cannot wait to share that with you. So we are celebrating today the brand new launch of the new 750. We are celebrating 30 years. FOF has been in the embroidery business, 30 years. And I'm going to tell you, I have been doing this for 30 years. Well, actually 31 years, but I have been in this since the FOF 7570, which is, that was the beginning of embroidery for the company. So 30 years we are celebrating. And we are celebrating the launch. We're also celebrating Carla Strauss's. Happy birthday, Carla, one of my classmates. It's her birthday today. So I thought I'd just do a little shout out to Carla. So if you're tuning in, I appreciate you being here. And please leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And that way I can go back. Because just unlike my lives, I can't see all of my friends. I can't see your name. So I'd love to know who's here, and just throw me a comment or a wave or something. So I'm also celebrating 10 years of Embroidery Mom and 6 years of in-home classrooms. So designing projects start to finish on the screen of the machine is my passion. It is what I love to do because as a former dealer for over 20 years, I want to inspire you to create, to explore your own machine at home. And doing this, designing these projects start to finish using exclusively the screen of the machine is what I do and what I feel is the most effective form of you learning your machine, truly. And that is getting your hands on there and designing, using your sewing machine stitches and the built-in creators, which I'm going through samples and projects of things that I wanted to show you today. And as you know, I just said we've been doing 6 years of in-home classrooms on the top of the line FOF creative machines. And 99% of what I pulled out of my bins, you can do on this new machine. And the beautiful thing is that it's slightly smaller profile. So I know a lot of people want to have a second machine that they can travel to take to classes and workshops and retreats. And a lot of people are looking for a second machine just to have a couple things multitasking, right? And I have a lot of people that are in my classrooms with other brand machines that want to be able to do what they're doing. And they want to get into a FOF machine and they want to be able to do all of the things that I'm showing creatively in creating right on the screen of the machine. And this machine can do it. I'm telling you, I am just blown away by the amount of features they packed into this machine. And it's half the price tag, right? So there you go. That's another biggie. So I have a trunk show for you because I'd like to show you all the things that I've been working on. And I'm going to show you some things that are available to all of you. And that's going to be a little Creativate exploration we're going to do today. And this, I hope, inspires you to get on there and download that free app and work with that. So I have a workshop coming up for that too, that I'll be able to, in Embroidery Mom, I'll be able to share with you. But so we're going to do a little bit of Creativate. Again, the free app, and I'm going to send it right to the machine. And if you don't have a machine that you can do that with, you can still participate in creating on the Creativate app. So we're going to have a little close-up of that. So let's get into the trunk show, right? Let's begin. So you're all going to say hello. You're all going to leave me a comment so I can go back and see who tuned in. I know we had over 600 RSVPs for today in the last 24 hours. So thank you for being here and supporting me. And as always, I'm hoping that you leave here today with some project inspiration, right? That's what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to show you this collage that I'm working on, and I will explain some of the details of this as well as what you see here next to me. But I have fused this, and it is on just a piece of quilt cotton, and I want to actually add some embroidery designs to this. I want to add some background stitches, and so I put this in my hoop. So this is just fused fabric. There's nothing stitched on it. I have a couple tricks for this. One is free motion, and the other one is bringing the design back into this and creating with this in the hoop. But I want to show you that, we're visuals, right? We're creators. And what we do is we walk into the quilt shop and we see the quilt hanging on the wall, and that's what we want to make. And those are the colors we want. And that's the pattern. And, a lot of times what we're working on in our hoop is the same way. I want a visual. I want it to be easy. I want everything on the screen of the machine, so I'm not going back and forth. So I've hooped this. Okay. It's a little outside the hoop, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to put this on the machine and I'm going to select hoop scan. And what that's going to do is scan my entire hoop. So now I'm going to get a full visual right on the screen of my machine, in my edit screen. So I can add sewing machine stitches. I can add other mini designs. I can add background stippling, whatever I want with regards to what I can stitch in the hoop. I'm going to be able to stitch on this, and I'm going to show you that on the screen of the machine. So that's a biggie, is I want help placing designs. I want to be able to see where my designs are going. I want to add things to my quilt blocks. I want to add things to the collar. I'm creating a slipper, and I want to know where the toe of the slipper is going to be and where the sides are going to be. Well, imagine if I went ahead and put my pattern piece for the slipper on a piece. I could tape it onto a piece of tearaway or whatever, a piece of hoop stabilizer, scan it, and now I can place my designs exactly where I want them, right? Pretty cool. Or I can do a quilt block or a fussy cut and place this. This is all just fussy cut from a piece of fabric. It's free motioned everywhere. And I thought, I need something. I place this onto my hoop stabilizer. I bring in a design from the machine. I know exactly where it's going to stitch just from the visual. So let me show you what I mean. If Amy, we could go over to the screen of the machine here and take a look. So after the hoop scan, do I hear oohs and ahs? Can I have a couple oohs? This is, I don't know. I guess I just wasn't expecting this. I absolutely love the visual of, once I scan this, here it is. So I thought, all right, well, let me play a little bit. And I brought in some designs from the built-in menu. You can bring it in from a USB stick. You can bring it in, send it over from Creativate. And here's my little designs that I'm adding. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go into my stitch out mode, and using exact positioning, I will know exactly where this is going to go. I mean, I'll be able to double check the machine. So I went in, did my double check, spot on. Where this showed it was going to stitch is where in my exact positioning I was able to double check it. So I'm going to just go into my stitch out just to show you something here. And I'm going to hit apply. My arm is going to move. Okay. And it's telling me to put my hoop on. I'm going to hit OK. All right. And so now I'm going to go into exact position. All right. So now I can move this. Let's just say we want the center of the dragonfly, this little dragonfly here. And now I'm going to say, okay, show me where it's going to stitch. And I'll just hit this. You may have heard the hoop move just a little bit. And right now, if I look at my needle, that's exactly where the center of the dragonfly is going to stitch. So super easy just to even do a double check, but spot on. Absolutely perfect. Exactly where it's going to go. So exact position is built right in. All right. So now let's go back into let's just get out of here. And I'm going to go back into my embroidery edit. And this is going to stay on the screen as long as I need it to for all of my designing. Anything that I happen to bring in here, I can move around. Now, the other thing is I love the built-in designs. Sometimes I like a little bit more flexibility. And I have the ability to go into resize. And here is that design that I'm able to actually go right in and resize it. And it's going to recalibrate the stitch count for me. So if that little dragonfly had 1,000 stitches, the big dragonfly is going to have 3,000 stitches. And it's going to go ahead and recalculate that for me automatically. And then I just hit the check mark. And there is my resize. So super simple. And again, so visual that I can do so much of the planning right on the screen of the machine. Okay, so now the other thing is we do a lot of things with our decorative stitches. So if I could go back over to my face on the screen, Amy, I'm going to show a little bit more things here that we have done with decorative stitches. Now we have some fancy stitch menus, okay? Like we have you see this is a lace edge stitching. We have multiple lace edges. Now I do this with the sewing machine, part of it, but I also do it in the hoop. I bring the machine stitches right into the hoop. Okay. We have the ribbon stitches. Now this you're going to see in my takeover next week. I brought this into the machine and I'm hoping that's not blurry. And I did this using the built-in stitches and a piece of ribbon. And I wanted a nice straight line. I wanted a border. So by bringing it into the hoop, I don't have to worry about keeping it straight and stitching it. I can bring the sewing machine stitches right in. And this is something I always say to people in my classrooms. If you're not working on the FOF machine, fool around a little bit, explore your machine, see if you can bring your sewing machine stitches in, like your buttonholes. And these are things that are going to help you create decorative borders. Okay, I can do them in straight lines. This is just a border where I've mixed multiple designs. I've added some, this is the freestanding lace in the hoop. So we're just doing borders. We're stacking stitches on top of each other. And I can create multiple shapes. So you see how this is a curve? I can create a curve and I can stack stitches on top of each other. You know, I love my stitch stacking where I bring in all sorts of decorative stitches. Here's rows of ribbon stitches. Again, you could draw these and stitch these out in the sewing machine, but you know, like I said, I'm a hooper, right? I'm going to bring it into the hoop. So I can do this. And I'm just going to show you here some more decorative stitches. These I love. These are stack stitches. They are companion stitches. And again, nice even rows just by bringing them into the embroidery screen. This is a tone on tone, something I did for bridal. These are all just 9mm decorative stitches. This is just this is a project, but again, it's just using the border, creating the border. Got lots of stuff in here. I'll go back to that. Okay, so there's another border. And shapes. We can, you know, you're seeing all of these stitches in straight lines right now. I can put them in circles too. So here we have circles where we did a bunch of circles and we cut them up. And these are all done with decorative stitches, radiant stitches. So we did 4 circles and we sliced them up and pieced them back together. Just another fun way of using sewing machine stitches. So that's your homework. You have homework. You're going to see if you can do this on your machine. Here we have more decorative stitches, only we used them as an applique. We curved them instead of kept them straight. Again, this is a little bit of an applique. And then here I just added that lace edge stitch to a zipper and did an external zipper instead of placing it in. So what we're talking about today are, my favorite design tips. And these are projects that I design to teach machines. And by exposing you to all of those, you are really learning the machine. Here we have actually done a couple of stitches where we can attach lace right in the hoop, and we're combining decorative stitches, sewing machine stitches with embroidery stitches. This, if you're in the classroom, this was one of the biggies where we designed a stitch and it sews on sequence. We went into the stitch creator and we just designed our own stitch, and we were able to fussy place the stitch. And I'm just going to show you the back of this just to show you what the stitch looks like. That little X right there, that's what we designed in the in Stitch Creator. It's on the machine. I just, like I'm saying, I'm like, I can't believe how much creative designing tools are on this. Here's all of those big, beautiful needle art stitches. We're designing with these in the takeover next week. And, I love the backgrounds, and I'm just going to show you a couple backgrounds. So even if you can't bring sewing machine stitches into your hoop area, think about embellishing your fabric before you take it into the hoop. So for example, I'm just going to show you the background here. I'll get up close. And this is a decorative sewing machine stitch, as is this stitch here in the background. I mirror imaged here. This is all decorative. You see I've got the sequin stitch here also. And then I put my embroidery on top. So you can create a background with decorative stitches. And sometimes people are always like, I don't use all my decorative stitches. When you start creating backgrounds, you almost run out of decorative stitches because there's just so many that you can layer and stack. And so even if you can't bring it in, try checking out, that possibility. And here it is in a contrast. So you can see that there is, 4 rows of that white check. That's a decorative stitch. 3 rows of this large maxi needle art stitch. Then we put the thread velvet roses on top. We added some mini leaves, and this row of little medallions are all just done in the shape creator. They line up nice and evenly. This is how I do my buttonholes too. I say I want 5 buttonholes. My placket is 10 inches long, and I just do it right on the machine in the embroidery hoop. Okay, so explore that. I've got one other sample that I'm missing. I'll come up with it. But even your built-in lettering, right? These are sewing machine letters. We've got beautiful fonts, but these are sewing machine letters that we can bring in, that we're going to be doing next week also in our takeover. So I'm just going to go to the machine real quick and just show you how easy it is. Just because I'm trying to inspire you, right? Okay, so let's move stuff out of the way. I'm coming, Amy. I'll be right there. Got to get stuff out of the way. Okay. All right, so here we are on the screen of the machine, and I'm just going to show you how simple it is to bring in stitches. And again, I love the background stitches. So I'm going to go into Create Sequence here. And here I am in a whole new screen, and it's just going to ask me to pick a stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and pick stitch number 2. Okay, I'm going to close it. I have the option of making all sorts of edits to it if I want to. Here I am just going to go ahead and copy and paste. And I can work in millimeters or inches. Here I'm working in inches. So I'm just going to add, we'll just do 3 inches. So I'm 3.15 inch. I'm going to check mark it. I'm going to bring it into the machine. And I like to go ahead and change the color. So I'm going to go into my palette. And I'm going to come down to the sequence. And I'm just going to make it a white color, just so that you can see it real easily here on the screen. And I can go ahead and bring whatever stitches I like, because I I always talk about that plop and drop embroidery, and I love adding background stitches and details and designs and embellishments because it sort of takes that plop and drop look out of your embroidery. So again, I like just being able to bring in background stitches. And I also can go into my edit here, and I can go into my rotate, and I can fine tune that. Okay, so I'm at 90 degrees now, nice and straight. I simply can go in here and copy and paste it. With that highlighted, I can bring it back into my sequence creator. I can easily just make it a little bit longer. Okay, so here we're at 4 3/4 inches. I can make all kinds of edits to this, so we can go ahead again and add our embellishment. So that's how easy bringing the sewing machine stitches in. And I have the whole menu available to me, all of the stitches that are built on the machine. And all of these stitches, the menu itself is taken right off the top of the line machine. You have just a wide range and sampling of what's built onto the top of the line is in this machine. So I can do all sorts of backgrounds and combinations. So that's how easy it is to bring this in. Now, here is my screen. And if I want to go back to the original, I want to clear this. All I have to do is go into my hoop options. And you can see here that I can select change color. Okay, and I can pick whatever background I would like for my, for my design area. And then I can close my hoop options, and now I'm back to just a plain screen, and I got rid of that scanned image. But again, all I have to do is just go into the hoop options, hit scan hoop. If I select this button, it's going to tell me to put the hoop on, and we're going to scan it, and that image is going to show right up in, proportionately in real size right on the machine. So it's going to help me to pick the size of the design that I want on there. With, sometimes we end up with so much trial and error where we put it on there and we think, oh gosh, that wasn't placed right, or it's, the wrong angle, it's too big, it's too small. So now we have that ability to scan. This was just like, I was so impressed with how easy that was and how true size proportionately that was. And then the placement part of it was spot on. So again, I was pretty happy with that. Okay, so we can go back and forth with that, and just super, super simple to customize. Because had I resized this this dragonfly, I may not have known that that was a good size for my moon unless the moon was actually on the screen of the machine, right? Love it, love it, love it. Okay. All right. So back to some other design projects here. We're talking about, in my mind, the top 10 design features when you are working on a machine. And I do enjoy the software, but I want to tell you that I do 99% of what I do in the Creativate app and right on the screen of the machine. And I think that I use all the features on the machine. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to show you the top 10. So my next obsession, let's just say it like it is, because if you've tuned into lives and you've tuned into my classrooms, you know that I love Applique Creator. And I've always loved Applique Creator on all of the top of the line machines. And I was, when I'm creating the appliques and I'm using them for multi-purpose, let's start out with there. So with the appliques, I am doing the appliques, but I'm also more so probably using Applique Creator as design templates. And I'll show you what I mean about that. I'm designing patterns on the screen of the machine using Applique Creator. I am doing traditional appliques, but I am also designing patterns on the machine. So I have design templates. I have patterns. And this is something I think that when they put Applique Creator on these machines, they probably weren't thinking about all of the other extra stuff. But what they did do was they put the ability to change control points. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's just do a little bit of let's go back to the trunk show. And these are things that, if you don't have an Applique Creator currently on your machine, these are things that I want you to start looking at your applique designs a little differently. Let's make them dimensional. Let's make them three-dimensional. Let's make them to where we're cutting things out instead of adding fabric. So we're going to go into this little trunk show here of Applique Creator just so that I can refresh your mind in how much I love working with appliques. And I'm going to show you right on the screen of the machine some of the flexibility that we have for that. So let's head over here. Now, the appliques, we have basic shapes. And this is just an applique on top of an applique. Okay, we've got our ribbon stitches here. Again, we're doing those right in the hoop. That's a double ribbon stitch. The applique here, I'm using it as a border. I'm not even using it as a true applique, but I'm taking the sewing machine stitches and I'm adding it to my applique feature, and I am able to add my lettering in here. And again, this is just an applique, a circle on top of a circle. Okay, easy ways of using basic shapes. This was a circle that I distorted, and I stitched 4 of them. And you can see here, this is a runner. And when I took that circle and made it wonky, then I cut them apart, and I've got the background stitches on there. And I just made these little poppy flowers, this really quick project. Again, it's using a wonky version of a basic applique shape. So when you have the ability to change control points, you have the ability to change the shape of your shape as well as the size. Okay, so again, a basic triangle. This is sorry about the reflection on there, but this is just a basic triangle, a basic square that we resized, and we made a photo mat out of it. Okay, now this, again, I'm always kind of thinking out there, right? This is a basic heart-shaped applique off the machine, and I just stitched it onto this piece of batting, and you can see the stitching here. This is, again, an applique, and I turned it into this little Valentine's bag, and open it up. And here is where I embroidered Be Mine, but this started out as an applique. So you can see here, there's the satin stitch. We brought a buttonhole right into the hoop and added the little buttonhole to it. But all of the edges are the satin stitch applique that we stitched on water soluble stabilizer. So this is a basic heart shape. These were quick and easy to create. It's 2 pieces of fabric. You can put a piece of batting in there. I believe I used an interfacing on one of the pieces of fabric to give it a little bit of body. You certainly could add a lightweight fusible batting in there. But again, basic applique shapes. And I'm going to show you how fast it is on the screen of the machine in just a minute. Okay, now, I have to show you this. This is applique, and this was also in one of the classrooms, but you see, we've got all these squares, right? There's 6 by 3, there's 18 squares. Each one of those little squares has an exact positioning of the flowers in the little boxes. All right, in the little squares. So this was an exercise in not only applique, but it was an exercise in placing these little designs right in each of the squares. Oh, I'm going the wrong way here. Okay, kind of got in the wrong pile, but figure as long as it was there, I would show you. Now, this started out as probably a square. Okay, this is a wine bottle, no surprise there, right? Okay, so this was, a basic rectangle, and when you adjust the points, You can, again, stitch this on water soluble. This is if you go to a holiday party and you are asked to bring a dish. And this is just a round applique. So we created this dimensional project, and I have the full control over taking this rectangle and dragging it out to give me a point on each end, drag it out a little bit on the sides to make it so that it is, you know, kind of coming out to hold that ribbon. And I put the ribbon right in the project as well, stitched right on water soluble stabilizer. Easy, easy when you can make all those changes to the shape of the shape. Okay, let's get my pile over here. You know, the other thing too is this is just a porch pillow, but if you use your applique as a guide on the screen as your visual, as a design template, then you can add all these little mini designs, right, into the shape of the applique, and then get rid of the applique, and now you've got this, you know, hit the mono, and it's going to stitch right out for you in one color. So again, this, you know, could start out as a basic applique, your applique numbers. All right, now here is, let me get my pile here without knocking things over. You know, I'm always packing, you know, 50 pounds in my 2-pound bag, right, Amy? Now, listen, if you have questions, you can go ahead and type them in, and Amy will let me know. If we don't get to them because I'm bombarding you with so many projects, then I'll be sure to come back and answer them in the feed. Okay, so ask away. Let's get to this. This is, again, here's an applique. 2 hearts make a bow. Simple. This is a circle and a circle. This is on water soluble stabilizer. We've added some lettering here. 'Twas the night before Christmas. And then we can trim it down, and we get this mat. This is a photo mat. So again, this is, if we take that out, this is what it looks like. And then we can put the photo in there, add it to our frame. So applique 1, 2, the hearts, the circle here. I have a square here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 appliques. And then I used an applique for the outside, and a design template to say, okay, my frame is 8 by 10. So I created an 8 by 10 design template on the screen of the machine, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And that was my design guide. So here I am designing on the screen of the machine, and it's all visual for me. I know exactly what size my circle needs to be, and I know exactly where I can place stuff within that 8 by 10, or, you know, whatever size your frame is. It allows you to be very custom. So again, that is my more applique. Here we have just, you know, made quite simply, a couple triangles flipped together, and now we've got kites. Okay, easy, easy, easy stuff. And if you use a pre-pieced piece of fabric or an old quilt block, you can get them so they're contrasting each triangle, right? All right. Now, well, I'm all over the place here. Now I'm over here in Christmas, but okay, so here are our little gnomes. Okay, these are 2 appliques. Do you see it? A triangle and a rectangle. Well, this is the rectangle. And that's the brim of his hat. We've added a couple designs. This is a little dimensional flower here. You can embroider that. You can also take silk ribbon flowers apart. And we have, this is just fur, right? Can you see on the back here? And we have a little covered button. We've added some sewing machine stitches onto the front and some crystals. Okay, again, basic applique. And we have, we also took them, and this is in my pile here, into this. Okay, this is a table topper. We've made our snowflakes, which I'm going to show you how. And again, more appliques. And this, we've got a stitch all the way around the outside edge. All right, so we're going to head to the machine in just a moment. More applique. Applique, there's 4 appliques there. Can you spot it? Okay. Now, the other thing is I love to make patterns with Applique Creator. Here's a pattern. Here is my bag. This is a crossbody bag, or you could wear it on your hip. Depends on how old you are. Got a little snap here. So this is the body of my bag, which is this pattern that I made in Applique Creator. This is the flap of the bag, which I also made in Applique Creator. So if you stitch them out on a cutaway stabilizer, now you have patterns, okay? You have real live patterns. We did a whole series on flaps for handbags and tote bags, wedding bags, all created in Design Creator. And again, here is just a stitch out just to show you that that's what the applique looks like. So now I have a visual on the screen, and I can add all of my flowers and embellishments, all of my designs. Okay, so this is a little bit of a larger, but again, I know exactly where to place things because it's all visual on the machine screen. This is a distorted shape on purpose, I might add. Okay, this is part of our Gaudy Gears series, but again, this is Applique Creator. And look, I added the buttonhole right in there. I layered some silk flowers underneath some tulle. I added some sewing machine stitches, and then I did the applique, so the satin stitch covered the straight stitch. Easy peasy. And that is just so simple to create right on the screen of the machine. So let's go over here to the screen of the machine. And I'm going to delete everything. Okay, and I'm going to go into my hoop options here, change color. I'm going to make it white. All right, so here's my background, and I'm going to take you right into Create Applique. All right, so it looks just like my design screen that I was just in, except now I get to pick from different letters. Okay, this is where I would get my letters and numbers from that I showed you on that outdoor pillow with the house number on it. Here are my shapes. I've got some basics. I've got some funky here and my dingbats. Okay, I'm going to go into my basics, and I'm going to go into my square. Okay, and I'm going to close my shape. So this comes in as a default size, and it's usually in proportion to the size of the hoop that you have selected. I can resize it. Okay, I also can unlock the padlock, and that's going to allow me to change the shape of it. And I can go into my positioning tab, and I can change the control points. And you quickly check that out. Does that look familiar? That was our wine bottle cover. I have a couple control point adjustments. Go back to that original control point, close my positioning. All right, so here we have a new applique. If I don't want to keep the satin stitch, all I have to do is hit the trash can, and now I have step 1 and 2 of the applique, but now I have a pattern. I have a design template. So now when I go back into my edit screen, and this is my wine bottle cover, let's just say, although I did keep the satin stitch in my project, but now I have a real size indicator of what I'm designing. So if I want to add my lettering, I can go ahead and customize it, right? By just quickly adding some lettering, and you just type it in, your keyboard comes up. Okay, but here's the visual for you, whether it's a pattern or it is that heart that we just showed you, the purse flaps, the gnomes, whatever you're looking to do. And if you get in here and you decide, you know, I need it a little bit bigger, I'm going to go back into the applique, and we're going to go into our resize, and we can custom size it by using our settings here, or we can drag it and make it any size that we want to. And as long as this is the original design, and we go back into our edit screen, we can always just keep going back and editing that applique. So the amount of flexibility that you have with just your basic shapes is one thing, but let's go back here into Create Applique. But the ability to change the size and the shape of the shapes is something, you know, just completely amazing. Okay, so we also can go into here, and we can set our own stitch if we want to. Okay, that stitch just came in there. So I'll go ahead and just add additional stitches. And I can create my own decorative stitch using a sewing machine stitch from the machine on here. And then again, go back into here. Okay, I don't like this, so I'll go back and create applique. And I can always just trash it. Hit yes, took the designs off, and now I can experiment with other built-in sewing machine stitches. So we have that ability to constantly make those changes, resizing, going back into positioning, changing the shape of the shape. So you're not dead-ended in just the shapes that come with the machine. And I just love that. I love the flexibility because I do make patterns in Applique Creator for projects that I'm designing for the classrooms. Okay, so, all right, Amy, back, front, and center if we could. Okay, I know I'm throwing it a lot at you because, that's what I do. I want to make sure that your time spent here is well spent and that I am showing you all sorts of fun things that you can play around and see if your machine can do at home. Okay, how are we doing on time? All right, we are doing good. So do we have any questions that we want to address at this moment, or should we just keep plugging away?
I think I've been able to answer everything in the chat, so keep plugging away. We want more.
I got it, right? I could keep you all here for another hour and a half easily, but I won't.
I think everybody will probably respond to that with, okay.
Okay. I am just so thrilled to have, I wish I could see who was here. So you need to leave me a message so I know, okay? You need to give me a comment so I can at least have a rebuttal, right? If need be. Okay, I'm going to go back into my trunk show mode because again, I'm going through my bins of samples to figure out what to show you today, because this is all about my top 10 favorite things that I use to design. And, it's got to be on the screen of the machine. That's my thing. And when I'm designing the classrooms, I want your hands on as much of the screen of the machine as I can get you to do. Even if you don't make the project, even if you design along with me, it's that muscle memory, and it's going to, eventually sink in, right? And even people that are working on other brands of machines in the classroom, it really is about exploring. So that's the purpose. But before we scoot out of Applique, I'm just going to show you a couple more things, because here we have, this is an Applique design, and it is the cover for one of our projects from the classroom. And I'm just going to show you the inside. Again, so much applique here. This little tab with a snap on it is an applique design, a little bit of a distorted circle, more of an oval. Same thing with here, going the other direction. This, I put my USB sticks in here. We did a lot of placement. We did some sequence creating. Over here, we did some thread changes in the machine with using sewing machine stitches. Again, fussy placing, building these using decorative stitches and mini designs. And again, applique on the outside. You can see the decorative stitch, the border here. So we are using appliques in a little bit of untraditionally, I guess is the word. So all right, now let me just see where we're at here. Size matters, does it not? Let's just be frank about this. Size matters. And when you're designing, I feel that you have so many more opportunities project-wise. And this was a shocker to me. I did not expect this machine to be able to work with this Grand Dream hoop. Okay, and this Grand Dream hoop has two positions. So you embroider half and then you rotate the hoop. And this is that stitch that I just have been working with, or similar to the stitch I was just working with and showing you. And I created a background. And I was able to do this. You can do this in Shape Creator. You can do this in Sequence Creator. But this is just using a decorative sewing machine stitch that I brought in as a background. So those are all stitches. Hit the mono button, rotate it when it tells you, and that is the Grand Dream. This is 360 by 350 millimeters. Okay, big, big. So in doing that, I'm going to show you a couple projects. And again, this is a combination of, this is a candle mat for the holiday. These are little pieces of ribbon. These are just appliques, but you can see I have different stitches around them. I have different stitches in them, different embellishments between crystals and beads, and all different toppers on them. This was all designed for this hoop, and you can go that big. That's always the question, is how big can I go? And this is designed so that it's easy, easy to split. Okay, so here we go. All right, and we have, again, this is using a maxi stitch from the machine and a scalloped edge. This is a piece of wool felt. We brought some eyelets in here. All of our lettering we're bringing around in as a border, all done in the Grand Dream hoop, because the way that we place it, you don't need to split it. The machine will split it for you, okay? And we have one more here. This, again, is a tree skirt. These are for the tabletop tree skirts. We have eyelets here. We have built-in designs. We have crystals, of course. We have sequins using the sequin stitch, more eyelets and ribbon. But again, this is on wool felt using metallic threads, but big. Okay, this was also, I'm going to show you this here. We did some of this here even on the FOF page. We did some of, these are clocks. They are on a piece of, let's see, artist canvas, right, with the wooden frame around it. And I double checked this because I thought, okay, can this machine do this? Now, mind you, these are projects that I've done in the classroom on the top of the line machine. And this machine will do this where it will correct the lettering so that it's going the right way in the circle. So all of these are done in Shape Creator. I'm bringing them into Shape Creator. I'm bringing the numbers in. It's automatically evenly spacing it for me. And here's another clock. This is a little bit busier, but you can see that we just encored a design in Shape Creator. We also encored decorative stitch. Oh, I got some thread here. Added some eyelets, our dimensional butterfly over here we have. But again, this is all done. If you position things the way you need to position them in that hoop, you're going to be able to do all of these wide things. And again, these are just a sampling of some clocks, because again, it's all about the exercises and what's built on the machine. So, and again, I'm pulling these out of my classrooms that I've done on the top of the line, and this Creative Expression 750, this is all built into it. So again, I'm impressed, so impressed. Now, the Sequence Creator and Shape Creator, you can encore. This is a silk, I should have pressed this, but didn't get that far. This is a silk Dupioni holiday runner, and it is all made with sewing machine stitches. And I just encored them. And then I just kept adding them and adding them and adding them. So imagine if you got all done with the project and you wanted to add more designs. Well, you know what I would do? I would stick this in the hoop, I would hoop scan it, and I would know exactly where to add my small snowflakes in the event that I didn't add them all in the initial hooping. Because we are known to change our mind sometimes, right? Absolutely. Okay, so we can go Grand Dream. Now, I just want to show you a trick on the machine, Amy, if we can come back over here for a moment. I'm going to close
Nadine, I think your phone might have turned off on the machine, because I'm not seeing it.
Oh no. Well, I'm showing that everything is the same here. Am I still with you?
Yeah, I'm getting just a black screen from it.
Okay, bear with me 1 second. Let's see if I can figure this out. Do. Well, that's a first, isn't it, for me?
Are you just going to try to log it back in again?
I am. Let's see. Okay.
Everybody, we can see Nadine. What we can't see is her the screen of the machine. So she's going to try to get us back on there. Now it's showing your face. So now you just need to turn the camera around, Nadine.
Okay, here's my settings, camera, back camera. Do. Are we there? Yay! Did I do it?
All right, you got it. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Woohoo.
Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. I mean, I everything's on do not disturb. So, and I've never had a time. Is that like my warning, Amy? Am I timing out?
No, you're totally fine. Keep going. Yeah, that was a mystery.
Okay, are we all good? Everybody can see me now or see the machine now? Okay, I am just going to delete this. And I'm just going to go into my hoop options because I just want to show you something so simple here. And that is the Grand Dream hoop. And what's so awesome about this is that you have a guideline here. And here's A and here's B. So if I'm going to bring a design in, and I'm just going to bring in let's go in here and bring in a flower. And let's go ahead here and bring it in. Okay. When I go where I'm not allowed to go, whoops, and I bring this over, you can see that bar pops up. Now I wish, hint, I wish the top of the line had this feature because it would be such an awesome visual for people as they're designing in this hoop, right? It's so great. So I know that that flower can extend into the middle section. It just can't extend into all three sections. So as I'm designing and creating in the Grand Dream hoop, I know whether it's allowed or not. I know if it's going to work when I head over to my stitch out screen. So this represents both sides of the hoop, and you can see it's labeled A and B. I'm loving the visuals on here so that it is going to make it so easy for people to design right on the screen of the machine. So, so that's as easy as pulling up that hoop and doing all of your creating and combining in it, and then heading to your stitch out. So easy. All right, back over to my face, Amy. Okay, sound good? Okay, are we good?
All good. Yeah,
okay,
you're there.
All good. Okay, I'm just moving stuff out of the way. All right, let's see. We have, again, this is the Grand Dream flower, and it's huge and beautiful. It's an applique, and this actually is designed for the Grand Dream hoop. So it will have you stop and rotate the hoop to do the second half of the applique. But what's really cool is that I love to take the and I did it on the jacket behind me too. I use just the tree, the branch is just half of a Grand Dream design, as is this rose. And I have let me find the project. I think it's buried. I have this. This is a portable pressing station, and I used the full design on the front of it. And I created, I'm going to open this because this, again, I'm referencing, this is our applique, custom shaped applique, and that's my closure. And on the inside of this, it is all full of removable, what do I want to say? Zip bags, removable zip bags. They all have the same distance for the snap, so I can snap them all into other positions. And the bottom half is all pressing fabric. And again, here's another zip bag, but they all are removable. But again, you'll notice here on this pocket that I have an inside pocket and a zip, but I use just half of the design, which again, I love splitting up those designs and then creating this. Actually can create this right in your smaller hoop once you just cut the design. The machine cuts the design in half for you because it knows it's 2 parts. So I've used that as a full design, and I've also used it as a half design. So that's another cool thing. And again, I can see that. And once I bring that into the machine in the Grand Dream hoop, if I decide I don't want to use that hoop, then I just pick the other hoop and I can position it exactly where I want to because it's all on the screen of the machine. So we've also, done some embellishments behind the snap so that we know exactly where to place them so that they're interchangeable inside the project. So that again is that the big, design capability. Okay, so now we're going to get to. Let's see here. I actually took notes for this session because I had so much to tell you about and so much to show you. Let's talk about Creativate and the connection between Creativate and the machines. So Creativate, and I'm talking the app now because the app is free. And if you have access to Creativate, you have access to the free app. And I am encouraging you strongly to go in and set up a Creativate free account, download that app onto your tablet or onto your phone. I'm going to demonstrate that here in a minute. There is so much capability in that app. And I'm only going to be talking to you about one part of the app today. But again, just 30 years of embroidery, and then to have something so simple and amazing and so quick and easy, and then boom, it's to the machine. Now, if you don't have the machine to send it to, you can just send it to your Creativate account and it's there. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to send it right to the machine in like seconds. So easy. But let's just talk about some of the things that I'm going to be doing in the Creativate app as it pertains to embroidery. And that is my favorite thing in the world is the line art in photo stitch. I do so many projects with that. Now, just to, I'm going to just come down here to, bear with me. We're talking about Applique just a moment ago. And I pulled in a line drawing. We're using all line drawings. And this was just a little mini project that I did. And I brought this in, but it also gave me the opportunity to create my own applique. And what I did was I did this, and I certainly could do this and the satin stitch part of it in the app, but I did the inside of the rose, and then I just took it over to the sewing machine and did an applique stitch. So I was able to create my own applique patterns using this photo stitch in the free app. So, and again, and I know we've shown this before, these are just line drawings. These are just simple clip art drawings. I've got some great sources for that too. In the, here we've added some mixed media, right? We've just done some, you can do some crayons and some, the solution that you put on there to make these permanent, easy, inexpensive, but it's just ways of making quilt motifs. Now I did, I was working with this Tula Pink fabric, and I absolutely loved the leaves on her fabric. So I traced them, and then I used them for, it might be a little hard to see here, but I used them as part of my quilting. So I was able to custom make these quilting designs to match the fabric, the print on the border and the background. Okay, and you can see a little bit better here. These are just, and I resized these right in the machine. So I brought in one, and then you can resize them right into the machine. And here's, this is tone on tone. But every single person with an embroidery machine and access to the Creativate app can do everything I'm going to show you in the next segment of our live here. This was, and I'm looking for the paper and I may find it eventually, but this was just a vase, picture of a vase that I downloaded, and I brought it into line art and sent it over, and I filled it with my own flowers. So again, easy, fast, fast. Now you may remember this. I'm going to show you the muted version first. Okay, a Christmas tree that's collaged with all designs. Here is a little bit more of a contrast. This was a sweatshirt. Okay, this was done with Shape Creator or Applique Creator for my trunk. I drew a Christmas tree shape, brought it into Photo Stitch, and sent it over. Now back up a moment to Hoop Scan. I could also draw a basic Christmas tree shape, scan it, right? Place that paper on my hoop stabilizer, scan it, do the hoop scan, send it right over, and then fill it with flowers from my machine. That's exactly what I did. And crystals, right? You got to have bling. But let me see if I can open that up just to show you. Okay, so easy, easy, easy. But boom, just like that, it's done. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Now this, I'm going to show you this because I may have dropped some stuff. The border here, okay, these are all stitches done in Photo Stitch. Even my signature is all done there. Okay. And this actually is a maxi, this is a sewing machine stitch from the machine. But what I did was I took a picture of it with my phone and I brought it into Photo Stitch, made it whatever size I wanted it, and boom, there it is. And the border is not, the border is white Kona fabric. All of these are Photo Stitch flowers and leaves. And I created them. I created a border out of them. And, you know, coloring is just, I love to color. So I just sat and I colored it, the textile medium. I was able to blend it and shade it. So all of the border here is all designs quickly created using the Creativate Photo Stitch app. Super, super simple. And back to that, that little stitch. This is the maxi stitch. Okay, pulled it up on the screen of the machine, took a picture of it with my phone, brought it in, resized it, and this is how big. I filled the whole hoop with it. And that's a sewing machine stitch, right? Built right onto it using the Photo Stitch app. So, I mean, check it out. I mean, I know there's some countries that it's not available in yet, but if it's available from where you're watching, you're going to love it. And I have a workshop coming up on it. It's going to be awesome. The things that we can do with it, I'm not even showing you yet. I'm not showing you the new stuff yet because I want to keep you in suspense, right? All right, I'm just moving things out of the way. I'm going to bring up my, yep.
While you're moving stuff out of the way, can I just mention, because we've had a couple people ask, if you do not yet have the Creativate app, you will most likely not find it in the App Store by searching Creativate. You need to actually search My Sewnet because there's been a holdup on trying to get the search function changed to the correct name. So go ahead and search under My Sewnet. It's probably the second one, the second thing that comes up. So, but it's that purple square with the 3 different colored stars in it that is the Creativate app. So just a heads up for anyone who does not have it yet. Thank you, Nadine.
Good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, so you'll find it in your app store. You'll download it for free. What I'm going to show you right now is the free version that I'm using. So it's going to just, there's so many things we can do with it besides, I mean, you know, when it originally came out, I remember saying, you know, oh, you know, we're going to be able to like have our grandkids and our kids draw things and we're going to make line art out of it. But it's just gone so far beyond that in what, I mean, if you can see behind you, this, my hummingbird is a Creativate Photo Stitch project. And it's like the sky's the limit. And I'm using it now more and more for patterns and just a whole bunch of new things that I'm going to be showing you. And it is definitely worth the space on your device. I'm going to say that right now. It is amazing. And then if you have, you know, a machine that's Wi-Fi enabled and you can send it over, it's fast. And I'm going to show you that. But I will tell you that even if you don't have it, that where, you know, you don't have the machine like a FUF or, you know, that's Wi-Fi enabled yet, then you will just save it and you'll do it the whatever traditional way you get it from your computer or your app onto your machine is how you would do the same thing for designs that you're not sending directly. I hope that made sense. It was long-winded version of it's really easy. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you this on the iPad and hold it up to the screen just because I think you're going to get more of my screen this way. So here is my my tablet. And Amy, you'll let me know if it's not visually appealing to people here. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to select my Creativate app. And this is my free version of it. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to select embroidery. And here's what you're going to see. These are the things that you can use it for. I'm going to go into my photo stitch. And here it is. And you're seeing nothing right now because it's actually activated my camera. Okay. So it activates my camera. What I do is I actually will take a screenshot of the image I want. I will draw it in my notes. I mean, I'm always asked, well, what tablet should I get? I want to do this. What should I buy as far as the tablet goes? I love the ability to have a pen. So a tablet with a drawing pen, and I draw it right in my notes, and then I send it right over. The secret is get it on your camera roll. Once it's on your camera roll, you're going to go right in here to your camera roll. Okay, well, press it right here. Okay, here's my camera roll. Now I'm just going to type in dragonfly. All right. And I'm going to get all the things that come up that pertain to dragonflies. I'm just going to select dragonfly. So there's my image. Okay, don't panic. There's my image. And we're going to go into, we've got several options. We have a scatter stitch. We have a satin stitch. And we have a line art stitch. Okay, you see that? Now watch what happens. I'm going to send line art. Boom, there it is. Now I've got these little random tick marks down here. I certainly don't want those as stitches. So I'm just going to go into my eraser and I'm going to use my finger or a pen and I'm just going to erase this. And then I'm going to check mark this. Okay. Okay, so this is the design right now. So now I'm going to just activate the screen of my machine. Now I'm going to simply hit this little airplane down here. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be making you dizzy. This little airplane, I'm going to select the airplane. There is my Creative Expression 750. Okay. Design sent. Oh, you know what? Hold on, Amy, don't go to the machine just yet. I got to get over to, hold on. I should have changed my hoop and I'm going to delete all. Yes, and we're just going to go back into hoop options and I'm going to change my hoop to the 360 by 200. Okay. All right. So bear with me here just for a minute. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. See what it says? Your design has been sent. Woohoo. Okay, let's go to the screen of the machine. Okay. There it is. Ta-da, just like that. So now, I mean, I just zoomed in, but now I can take this and I can select resize. And I can go ahead and resize this. Okay. And we can go ahead and adjust it. Bring it into our hoop area. Obviously, you want it to fit the hoop, okay? But we're able to resize that in whatever size works for our hoop, okay? And you also have the ability to rescale. Rescale is not going to change your stitch count. I'm always resizing because I want this design to recalibrate the stitches so it maintains a really good quality stitch out. So here is my design. Now I also can go ahead and let's go ahead and duplicate that. Here's another one. And let's go ahead into our resize again, and we can go ahead and resize that even smaller. Okay, so here is, we can rescale it or we can resize it. Okay, we'll bring it in, move it over, just like that, and check mark. Okay, so imagine if you had your quilt block scanned. It's just kind of taped in your hoop, if you will. Maybe it's actually the whole quilt is hooped in there. Imagine scanning that quilt area or the jacket back or whatever you're doing. You scan that in, and now you know exactly where the top seam of your denim jacket is, or you know exactly where the center of your quilt block is. So again, it's all about the visuals, right? It's all about the visuals. I'm just going to just bring this down a little bit here, just so it fits in the hoop. That red line disappears, but you get the idea, where I can just kind of keep sending things over and resizing. And now I'm going to have this is a design, and then I can save it. So right now I can go ahead and save this, and we'll do a file name, and we'll just call it Dragonflies, and save. And now, boom, there it is. I've got it. It's done. When I bring it back up, I certainly can go ahead and get rid of one of them if I want and just use one of them. I have the ability to make the changes from pulling up from the saved file. I can also go into my palette here, and I can change the colors so that they actually will stitch out in 2 different colors. So I'm telling the machine I want 2 colorways here, just like that, right? All built right onto the screen of the machine. So we have so many different options when we involve that Creativate app in our embroidery. I love it. Absolutely love it. Can you tell? Okay, let's go back to my, back to front and center here. All right, so now we are going to wrap it up a little bit. I hope if you have questions, you are going to, by all means, post them here, and I'm going to go back through and answer questions. So we have so many of design features that I think enhance the embroidery experience, whether you're embellishing and repurposing, you're doing quilting, runners, tree skirts, so many things. So next week, they're really giving me a lot of time here, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm going to be able to share with you a project now. And you know, this goes back to my conversation I had earlier, where I designed this project originally to teach at the FOF convention when the FOF Creative Icon 2 came out to market. So I taught this out in Arizona, and I thought, how fun would this be to teach this to you using the new Creative Expression 750, just to prove that all of the features that I used on this design and this creation, between making the borders, the decorative stitches, these beautiful maxi hand stitches, the mini designs, the sequin stitch. I don't know if that's in the takeover next week. I don't believe it is, but everything else is. And you're also going to be able to download the eyeglass frame applique so that you can create at home. So if you're not creating with something similar that I'm doing on the screen of the machine, you're going to be able to have this eyeglass frame. You can download that for free. There's no code needed. That's on the Embroidery Mom website, and Amy's going to post a link for that. So you can go right on there now and download it, multi-format, so that you can play with it. But we're using built-in sewing machine stitches. We're going to talk about the design grid that's built on the machine for perfect placement. We're going to talk about how you can place your flowers and group them and mirror image them so that they're the same on one side as they are on the other. We're going to be creating rows using decorative sewing machine stitches. We're really packing it in next week. So we're going to be doing a video exercise every day, Monday through Friday, and they're short videos. We're keeping it light And we just want to get your fingers on the screen of your machine and playing and designing. And then you're going to be able to create all kinds of fun stuff. So here, right, you probably saw this a little earlier. You can put vinyl behind here. You can put black fabric or black vinyl and make them sunglasses. So this was just another little exercise in creating our border, bringing in some background stitches, crystals, of course. My tip for this is if you're going to add your vinyl, add it on after the applique step, just using a straight stitch. Go all the way around because it doesn't really show up here real well. But I just added this afterwards, not in the applique step, because I didn't want the satin stitch to perforate the vinyl. So again, just another thing that you can do. And this was a flap. And somewhere there's a sample here to show you how I use this. Bear with me 1 second. If I can't find it, I'll have to post it over in Embroidery Mom. Let's see here. I know it was here, but anyways, we created a flap and we created a closure. You can see that I have snaps right here, and that just created a little closure for a bag just by adding the snaps, and then the other part of the snap was on the little bag. But again, this is, I'm going to turn it over. This is an applique, right, on top of an applique. And then this is what you see on the front. So real easy just by combining it, making this the exact size that you want, a rectangle, just like we showed you on the screen of the machine. So this is what we're going to be doing in the takeover next week. So again, go on and download your free design. Now, I just want to show you this for a moment because these are the ribbon stitches, and I am going to show you how to do those in the takeover next week. Easy. They're sewing machine stitches, but I'm bringing them into the hoop because when you do that, the machine, and I tested it on the new 750, when you do that, the stops are included. So it will do the decorative stitch, it'll stop so that you can manipulate the ribbon. Then it does the decorative stitch and stops and you manipulate the ribbon. I have a whole video on that in the takeover. So you'll see how fun that is. This is a double ribbon stitch. Okay. We're doing a single just so that I can whet your appetite a little bit, right? They're so beautiful, and they are so, that extra embellishment, that dimensional embellishment. All right, so I have one more. Let me see. I'm just checking my notes because, I know I'm running a little close to time here. Let's see. So, because this is the first day, the launch of the brand new FOF Creative Expression 750, I'm doing something a little special. So this is for you guys. It's also for the dealers that are tuning in as well. I am going to be gifting you. All right. Now, the machines are available right now. So if you have ordered a machine or you're going to be ordering a machine, I'm going to be gifting you a workshop where we're going to be working step-by-step videos, designing a project together. It's likely going to be holiday workshop so that you can get your hands on the machine. We are going to be working with the creators, but I'm going to be giving you a free workshop. This is going to be you at home on the machine, your fingers on the machine, following along step by step with me. You can order it from your dealer. You can order it online. We'll give you, going to be giving the dealers a code. We will give you also a code if you're ordering the machine online so that you will qualify. You have to order your machine before September 30th to get it in time for the workshop that we're going to be giving you. So it's going to be step by step. Because I really think that when I throw you right into the screens on the machine, you're going to be super excited. You're going to be super comfortable. You're going to understand the machine. There's not going to be that huge learning curve. It's going to be a project that I'm going to expose you to so many of the built-in features, not in an overwhelming way, but in a way that you can say, oh my gosh, I get it. I can create a stitch. I can do a sequence. I can bring my stitches in. I can send this from my phone. So, so I really think that I know that project-based learning for me and all of the people that are in my classroom, it's effective and it works and it's exciting because you end up with, you know, a project. And look, at even if the project perhaps doesn't appeal to you, or you don't have time to get around to doing it, just doing the exercises and seeing everything that's built on the machine and how to use it is, it's just going to be so, so helpful. And when I say the amount of things, the designing tools that are on this machine, honestly, it should be a top of the line price point. I mean, it's half the price, but it is just full of stitches. And, you know, I've been doing this for 30 years. And typically when they come out with a machine, I was expecting not so many things built onto this machine, but everything I was like, well, let's see if it has this. It has it. And again, going through the samples, everything I showed you here today, and of course, so much more you can do on this new machine. So I just, you know, I love it. Absolutely love it. Can you tell? Okay, so let's see if I'm just going through my notes here just to make sure that I have Takeover starts on Monday, which is going to be our eyeglass. You're going to download that for free. And it's going to be the regular plain eyeglass shape so that you can play on your machine, adding your own designs and stitches and so forth. But it's going to be that, you know, the basic frame, so you can play around with that. You'll download that. That's in whatever file format you need. Let's see. Yeah, so if you reserve your new machine before the 30th of September, you will be included in the brand new workshop. And I think you're going to love it. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I think you're going to love it. So we have a couple of new things coming out. Create and Conquer is our brand new classroom that's coming. Registration will open for that next in September. So yeah, there's a lot going on over here, let me tell you. So do we have any questions before we sign off? I appreciate you guys so much for being here and really just tuning in to see what I'm up to. We have a lot of things going on over in Embroidery Mom. We're doing a whole project playback series. So hopefully you're enjoying that, just to see some of the things that we, and we design them right from the beginning and right on the screen of the machine. I can't emphasize that enough, because I know when I was a dealer, that was like a really big deal to my customers, was that I can sit behind the machine and do all my designing. That's huge. That is a huge thing. So between that and just that free app and Creativate, I'm telling you, you're going to rock it. Okay, any questions?
I don't see any questions, but I do want to let everybody know that the link to the eyeglasses applique, which is available for everyone, is in the description on both YouTube and Facebook, in the description above or below where this video is. So you'll see the link right there, goes directly to Embroidery Mom website, where you can just pick it right up, put it in your cart, take it home.
And also too, when you download that, Amy, just to let you know, you'll get the stitch out order. You're going to see actually what it looks like from a software screenshot, and then, the stitch steps. So, there's going to be a couple documents, but once, it's a free design, but when you go in there, you will cash out, right? You will close your cart. And then once you do that, you will, you'll get a file downloaded to your email. And when you open up that file, it's going to have the multi-format design in it. And it's also going to have the, the print, the things, the photo and the supply list for the bag. And I also, if you need help with bag assembly, I have a quick little video for that. I think we'll post that next week at the end of the week, just because it's a basic fully lined bag. And I have a step-by-step how-to on how to put a lined bag together. So we'll make sure you get that as well. So hopefully we will. And again, any questions, post them right here in the feed, and I'm going to be watching and monitoring. I'd love to hear your feedback, because, we're doing this to inspire you and to get you out of your box, right? Out of your comfort zone a little bit, just a little bit. So, all right. Are we good?
I think we're all set.
Okay. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week on Monday. We're kicking it off.